What if I told you that a $1,000 decision in 2013 could have turned you into a millionaire today? Would you believe it? Well, buckle up, because this story is not fiction. It's financial history. Let's rewind to early 2013. Bitcoin was trading at around $13 to $15. At that time, most people had no clue what Bitcoin even was. It was mostly talked about in tech forums, underground markets, and among early adopters who believed in the idea of decentralized money. If you had taken a chance back then and invested just $1,000, you could have bought approximately 76 Bitcoins at an average price of $13.15. Now fast forward to 2025, Bitcoin has been trading in a range between $60,000 and $70,000 recently, and some analysts expect it to go even higher. If you still held those 76 Bitcoins today, they'd be worth over $5 million, and that's being conservative. Of course, that sounds incredible, but it's not just about holding, it's about surviving. Bitcoin has crashed over 80% multiple times. In 2014, 2018, and 2022, it saw brutal bear markets, but each time it bounced back stronger. So, this story isn't just about what if you bought, but also what if you held. Let's break it down even further. If you sold at the 2017 peak when Bitcoin hit $20,000, your $1,000 would have turned into $1.5 million. If you waited until 2021, when Bitcoin crossed $60,000, your wealth would have reached $4.5 million. And if you're still holding in 2025, well, your investment continues to grow, and it's not over yet. But let's not just focus on the numbers. Let's talk about the mindset. Back in 2013, people laughed at Bitcoin. They called it a scam, a fad, a joke. But those who believed in the tech, in decentralization, and in financial freedom, they won big. This is a lesson in vision, patience, and risk-taking. So why does this matter now? Because we're standing at the edge of the next wave. Bitcoin halving is coming. Institutional money is flowing in. Global trust in traditional banks is declining, and every new wave creates new opportunities, not just in Bitcoin, but in emerging crypto assets, decentralized finance, and blockchain utility. Now you might be thinking, I missed the boat. But here's the truth, you didn't. The opportunity may not look exactly like 2013, but it's still here. It just moved. The key is knowing where to look and how to prepare. And here's the secret you've been waiting for. In every cycle, just before a bull run, altcoins with small market caps tend to outperform Bitcoin by 10x or even 100x. And here's the kicker. These coins start pumping 2 to 3 weeks before the Bitcoin halving hype peaks. The real smart money doesn't chase Bitcoin, it rides the wave early with strategic timing. Want to know which altcoins are already showing signs? Stick around, because that video is coming next. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. If you invested $1,000 in Cardano in 2020, this is how rich you'd be. Imagine it's early 2020. The world is on the brink of a global pandemic. Markets are crashing, and fear is everywhere. While most people were hoarding toilet paper and trying to stay safe, a few investors were quietly buying digital assets, including a cryptocurrency called Cardano, trading at just 0.03 to 0.05. Cardano, ADA, wasn't in the spotlight like Bitcoin or Ethereum. It was seen as a slow-moving academic project led by Charles Hoskinson, one of the co-founders of Ethereum. But behind the scenes, something big was building, a proof-of-stake blockchain focused on scalability, interoperability, and sustainability. If you had invested $1,000 in Cardano around March 2020, when the price was roughly 0.035, you would have received 28,571 ADA tokens. Fast forward to September 2021, just about a year and a half later, Cardano reached an all-time high of $3.10. At that price, your initial $1,000 investment would have turned into 88,571. That's nearly a 88x return in less than 2 years. Not bad, right? But it doesn't end there. The real story is about why this happened and what it teaches us about future opportunities in the crypto space. The rise of Cardano. While most coins were hyped up by influencers and celebrity tweets, Cardano followed a different path. It was methodical, peer-reviewed, and sometimes painfully slow. But that approach built trust. When DeFi exploded in 2020 and 2021, and Ethereum gas fees skyrocketed, people began looking for alternatives. Cardano became a top contender. The launch of smart contracts on the Cardano blockchain in September 2021 was a turning point. It signaled that Cardano wasn't just theory, it was ready to host real-world applications, decentralized exchanges, lending platforms, NFT marketplaces, and more. The momentum wasn't just technological. Cardano built a massive and loyal community. ADA holders weren't just investors. They were believers in the long-term mission. The staking model also encouraged people to hold ADA and earn passive income, instead of constantly trading it. Real wealth, real lessons. Let's break it down further. Even if you didn't sell at the top, and instead sold during a dip, say at $2.50, you still would have walked away with over $71,000 from a $1,000 investment. That's life-changing money. Now think about this. How many other traditional assets can give you a 70x or 80x return in under 24 months? Even the stock market's best years can't compare. That's the power and the risk of crypto. But unlike gambling, Cardano's growth was tied to actual development milestones and adoption. And here's the kicker. This isn't a one-time event. Crypto moves in cycles. Every few years, we see new waves of innovation, hype, and adoption. Smart investors look at the past to find patterns, and Cardano's 2020-2021 run is a perfect example. What now? So, where is Cardano today? As of early 2025, ADA is trading in the range of $0.50 to $0.60 after a long bear market. But don't let the price fool you. The fundamentals are stronger than ever. The network is more scalable, transaction fees are lower, and adoption in Africa and other emerging markets is growing. Institutional interest is also quietly building. Now imagine this. What if 2025 is the new 2020? What if ADA or another undervalued asset is about to repeat that explosive growth? Most people will miss it, not because it's hidden, but because they're not paying attention. The real secret. Here's the secret I promised at the start. Every bull cycle has a hidden window, a 6 to 9 month quiet phase before the real explosion. In that window, prices are low, media is silent, and only the patient are accumulating. This is where the 10x, 50x, and even 100x opportunities are born. And guess what? According to on-chain data, Cardano whales have started accumulating again. Staking addresses are rising, developer activity is up, the signs are all there, but the noise isn't. Not yet. If you're watching this, you're early. And being early, that's your edge. Stick around, because in the next video, I'll reveal 3 low-cap altcoins that are showing the same early signals as Cardano did in 2020. Don't miss it. This might be your next chance.